51 to 60. अधिकाञ्चि केलिलोलैः अखिलागमयन्त्रमन्त्रतन्त्रमयैः अतिशीतं मम मानसम् असमशरद्रोगि जीवनोपायैः.
Adhikanchi. This expression we have been frequently coming across. That means Devi is stationed in Kanchi, abiding in Kanchi. Keli lolaihi akhilagama yantra tantra mayehi mama manasam atishitam. Mama manasam atishitam. Let us start there. Mama, my, manasam, mind, atishitam, very cool. My mind has become very cool by the presence of Devi in Kanchipuram and her Keli Lolaihi, her delightful sports. Keli is sports, Lola is delightful, loving. Loving delightful sports make my mind very cool. Then what else? Akhila Agama Yantra Tantra Mayehi. Now he is using plural for all of this, like the poet has used before in some of the verses, as a mark of respect for Devi. Keli Lolaihi, her loving sports. Akhilagama Yantra Tantra Mayehi. She Yantra Tantra Mayim would have been enough, but he is using Yantra Tantra Mayehi plural. Akhila, all, Agama, Vedas and Agamas. Yantra Tantra. Now she is of the form of all Agamas. She is also of the form of all Yantras. We know there are so many Yantras associated with Devi. If you open any book on Saundarya Lahari, you will find a Yantra for Saundarya Lahari. You will find a Yantra for Durga Saptashati. You will find Yantra for, of course, Shri Vidya. So various yantras are there for various forms of Devi. So that is why he is using plural. Yantra Tantra Mayehi. Now Tantra is a twofold expression. Tantra in a general sense means Agama for Devi. There are Seva Agamas, there are Vaishnava Agamas, there are Devi Agamas which are known as Tantras. Devi Agamas are not known as Agamas, they are known as Tantras. Lakshmi Tantra, Kamakoti Tantra, and so on. A lot of Tantras are there. Now, those Tantras are Agamas expressing the glory of various forms of Devi. That is one thing. Second thing is, Tantra is actually Kriya. Every puja has got Tantra. Every worship in whatever form you do, that is because, for example, in a Shodasha Upachara puja, there are Shodasha Upachara, 16 Upacharas, which are 16 Kriyas after all, 16 Tantras. So that is why Devi is of the form of all Vedas, all Yantras, all Tantras. Tantra Mayehi. That means she pervades, she is there in all those Yantras and Tantras. It is not as if those Yantras and Tantras are trying to reach her outside of her. No, they are herself. Atishitam mama manasam. My mind has become very cool because of all this. Asama sharadrohi jivana upayehi. Asama means, sama means equal, asama means unequal. Asama sharadrohi. Shara is arrow. Unequal arrows. That means Manmatha. Asama Shara is one of the names of Manmatha. He is having 5 different arrows, not five same arrows. 5 flowers, which are 5 different flowers, 5 different flower arrows. That is why he is known as Asama Shara. Unequal, different arrows he is holding. Now, Manmatha's Drohi, enemy of Manmatha is Shiva. Shiva's Jivana Upaya. Jivana is life, living. Upaya means, that means Devi is the means of living for Shiva. That means without Devi, there is no life for Shiva. That is the meaning of this. Jivana Upaya. See, we all have our Jivana Upayas. Jivana Upaya is, in a general mundane sense, is used for our wherewithal, from where we get our resources, my monthly income, or some other means by which I sustain myself. That is my Jivana Upaya. But that is not really what is meant here. Here, something more is meant. Actually, it is what is meant here is the prana. Actually, Jivana Upaya is prana. Without prana, nobody can live. So Shiva's prana is Devi. That Shiva's Jivana Upaya, Shiva's prana is Devi. He is enemy of Manmatha, Asama Sharadrohi. So my mind becomes cool because of Devi, who resides in Kanchi, who has got a lot of delightful sports. See, all her sports are known to us through various Puranas, various accounts. So Keli Lolaihi, that is why he is referring. And she is of the form of all Vedas, all Yantras, all Tantras, and she is herself the very life breath, prana of Asama Sharadrohi, that is Shiva.
नन्दति मम हृदि काचन मन्दिरयन्ति निरन्तरं काञ्ची इन्दुरविमण्डलकुचा बिन्दुवियन्नाद परिणता तरुणी.
Nandati mama hridi, in my heart, someone is causing, kachana, someone is causing lot of delight. I am becoming extremely happy because someone is there in my heart. Nandati means I dance in happiness. Nanda is extreme happiness. So, Mama Hridi Kachana Nandati. Someone is dancing, someone is causing me extreme happiness in my heart. Who is that? Mandirayanti Nirantaram Kanchi. Nirantaram, always, without break, always. Kanchim Mandirayanti, making Kanchi her residence, her abode. Mandira is residence. Mandirayanti, making, is a verb. Mandira is noun, Mandirayanti is a verb. She is making Kanchi her abode. Indu Ravi Mandala Kucha. Kucha means the two breasts. The two breasts of Devi are moon and sun. Mandala is the orb. Is the orb of sun, is the orb of moon. The circular orb of sun and moon are the two breaths of Devi, because this is how Devi has been projected in Shastras. In fact, there is a shloka for this. Surya Chandrau Stanau Devyaha Taveva Nayane Sprutau Ubhau Tatanka Yugalam Ityesha Vaidiki Shrutihi. Surya Chandrau Stanau Devyaha. Devya's two breaths are Surya and Chandra. Taveva Nayane Sprutau. The same Surya and Chandra are her eyes. And not only that, they are also her tatankas, ubhau tatanka yugalam, ityesha vaidiki shrutihi. That is how Surya and Chandra occupy a very glorious position in the form of Devi. Bindu Viyat Nada Parinata Taruni. Taruni means young woman. This young woman, Devi, is Bindu Viyat Nada Parinata. Parinata means culmination. She has culminated. See, when something has culminated, it means it has taken that form. That means Devi has taken that form. Devi has attained that parinama, that end. What is that end? Bindu, Viyat, Nada. Three items he is describing here. Bindu is the very start of creation. Bindu actually means a dot. The literal meaning of Bindu is a dot. But here it means the starting point of creation. Starting point of creation is a very technical subject in Shastras. It is described in great detail. Even if you go through Srimad Bhagavatam, Devi Bhagavatam, any of the Puranas, there is a very detailed creation process described there. It starts with Bindu, which is actually Avyakta, Mahattattva, Ahankara. These are the various technical terms used in connection with the beginning of creation. Avyakta is Prakriti, the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Then Mahattattva is the whole universe in the form of very subtle dot, in the form of a very subtle dot, very subtle shape. Then Ahankara. Now, Ahankara is very important. Without Ahankara, creation cannot happen. So, Ahankara is the basic fundamental of Bindu. Now, after Bindu, the next stage of creation is Vyat. Vyat means space. You know there are 5 elements, Panchabhutas. The subtlest element, the most sukshma element is Akasha. Then followed by other 4. Akashad Vayuhu, Vayor Agnihi, etc. Vayu, Agni, water and earth. Now they follow Akasha. Akasha is the most subtle, the first element being created. Now every element has got something known as Tanmatra, an attribute, a quality. What is the quality of space? Space quality is sound. Nada is sound. Similarly, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. These are the 5. Shabda is the first one. Rasa is for water. Rupa is for Agni. Shabda Sparsha is for air, wind. And Shabda Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Gandha is for Prithvi, for earth. Now these are the Tanmatras, qualities. So by mentioning one, the poet is mentioning all the 5. It means like the first one, the others will follow. So he says Bindu, the starting point, which is Avyakta. The second is the space. The third is the space quality, that is the Nada. She herself has become all this. She has not created and then she has left it for someone else to manage. It's not like that. It is not her creation which someone else is managing. No, it is the creation from her own form, Parinata. She has become that. She has become the universe. That is why so my heart, someone is making extremely happy, who is stationed in Kanchi, whose 2 breasts are moon and sun, the orbs of moon and sun, and who herself has become Bindu, Vyat and Nada, the dot of the starting point of creation, the space and its quality of sound.
Shampalata Savarnam Sampadayitum Bhavajvara Chikitsam Limpami Manasi Kinchana Kampatatarogi Siddha Bhaishajyam.
Sampalata Savarnam. Shampa is lightning. Lata is creeper. Now, the lightning appears like a creeper. If you see, it's a flash, it's a streak of lightning. It is technically called forked lightning in English. The technical term for Sampalata is forked lightning in English. It's a streak of lightning, Savarnam, of the same color. As you know, lightning comes in a flash, generally very bright white color. So he is saying Devi's appearance is also like that, very bright, causing your eyes to close. That is why, because you cannot see lightning, your eyes automatically close. Similarly, so bright she is. Sampalata Savarnam, of the same Varna, same color as the lightning. Sampadayatum Bhavajvara Chikitsam. Sampadayatum, in order to earn. Sampadana is earning, in order to acquire. Bhavajvara Chikitsam. Chikitsa is medicine, treatment for the fever, jvara of bhava, of samsara. The medicine for the fever of samsara I want to acquire sampadayutam. In order to acquire the medicine, the treatment for the fever of samsara, what do? Limpami manasi kinchana. In my mind, limpa means I anoint, I smear. Medicine is generally smeared on the skin or smeared on the tongue for better treatment, isn't it? For treatment of the disease. So here he says, limpami manasi. Instead of smearing or anointing on the body, I am anointing it on the mind. I am applying it on the mind. Kinchana, something I am applying. Kinchana siddha bhaishajyam. Siddha medicine. Siddha bhaishajyam is medicine. Some siddha medicine I am applying on the mind. Instead of applying siddha medicine on the skin or on the tongue, I am applying it on my mind. What is that medicine? Kampatata rohi. Rohi means tree, creeper. Kampatata, on the banks of Kampa. Some tree which is grown on the Kampa river bank. Now he is calling Devi as some tree. Because why he is calling as some tree or some creeper? Because that is the medicine for my mental disease. Just as Siddha medicine, which is grown in specified areas, and then it is given to me by a Siddha doctor, which I put on my skin or on my tongue for treatment of my disease. Similarly, for my mental disease, I go to the Kampa river bank, I see a creeper there who is actually shining like lightning, who is shining like lightning, and I go there for acquiring my medicine for fever of samsara, not for ordinary fever. Samsara fever, she is the medicine.
हनुमितकुचकाठिन्याम् अधिवक्षपीठमङ्गजन्म रिपोः आनन्ददां भजेताम् आनन्दब्रह्म तत्त्वबोधशिराम्.
Anandadam bhaje. I worship Devi who gives me ananda, who gives me happiness. Anandada is one who gives happiness, one who gives ananda. I worship her. Now he is describing her. Anumita kucha kathinyam adhivaksha peetham angajanma ripoho. Kucha is bosom. Kathinya is hardness, hardness of the bosom. Anumita is estimated or guessed. It is guessed that Devi's bosom is hard. How do I guess it? Adhivakshaha peetham angajanma ripoho. Angajanma is Manmatha. He is born of the mind of Vishnu. So he is known as Manasija and Angaja. Angaja is Manmatha. Angaja, Angajanma, both same. Ripoho. Ripo is enemy. Enemy of Manmatha, that is Shiva. Angajanma Ripo is Shiva. Of Shiva, Vakshapitha, the chest area. Chest which is acting like a pitha, like a plate, like a seat. Chest acting like a plate. From that, I am able to guess the hardness of the bosom of Devi. What does he mean? He means that when Devi embraced that Shivalinga, that Saikata Shivalinga, her bosom left an impression. Her bosom as well as her bangles left an impression on the Saikata Linga. Now, so from the impression of the Saikata Linga, I am able to guess the hardness of her bosom. That is what he says. Anandadam, she gives me happiness. Tam, that Devi. Ananga Brahma Tattva Bodha Siram. Now, from description of the form, he always travels to the highest truth in the same sloka. We have seen it on many occasions. Here also he is doing the same. Siram is what we call Nadi. Nadi is another Sanskrit term which is used in local languages. Sira is Nadi, vein. Now, what is the nadi or vein he is talking about? This is not an ordinary nadi, ordinary vein. It is bodha siram, jnana nadi, which gives you jnana, which gives you knowledge, vein of knowledge. What knowledge? Not mundane knowledge, Brahma Tattva Bodha. The principle of Parabrahma, that knowledge of principle of Parabrahma flows through that nadi. See, if some knowledge flows through a nadi in your form, in your body, then you acquire that knowledge easily because it is flowing through your own body, your own vein, your own nadi. Now, in fact, these three nadis, Sushumna, Ida, and Pingala, which you might have heard of, Kundalini travels through that Sushumna and then goes to Sahasrara Chakra, starting from the Mooladhara Chakra. That is what yogis do. They are able to make the Kundalini Shakti, which is Devi, travel from the lowest chakra to the highest chakra. Now, what is that Kundalini? That is also knowledge. It is imagined, it is construed as a serpentine form. But is it a serpentine form? No. Yogis tell us, no, it is only an imagination. It is actually something which you cannot imagine. It is beyond imagination. What is that you cannot imagine? That is bodha, that is jnana. So it travels through that Sushumna nadi. When it travels through the Sushumna nadi, you get that knowledge automatically. That is Brahma Tattva Bodha Siram. She is the nadi itself, because that is the nadi which carries the knowledge of Brahma Tattva. Now, he is adding one more qualification. Ananga Brahma Tattva. He simply did not leave it as Brahma Tattva. Ananga. Ananga is Manmatha. Ananga is of Manmatha. That means Brahma Tattva Bodha, which is related to Manmatha. That means Brahma Tattva is taught in Upanishads in a very tough form. If you take Chandogya Upanishad, it talks of so many upasanas. So many upasanas which are extremely tough for an ordinary person. Now, if you go to Devi, she makes everything simple. If you worship Devi, you don't have to do all those upasanas. So it becomes a Shringara Tattva, a very Lalita, a very light, very pleasant Tattva. That is why it is called Ananga Brahma Tattva. Same Brahma Tattva you will reach by a different route, and that is the route of Shringara, route of erotics, route of love, instead of the tough route of Upanishads. So I worship that Devi who gives me bliss, whose bosom's hardness is estimated by the impression left on Shiva's chest, and who is herself the nadi of knowledge of the principle of Parabrahman, which is taught to me simply in a simple manner through love.
ऐक्षिषि पाशाङ्कुशधर हस्तान्तं विस्मयार्हवृत्तान्तम् अधिकाचि निगमवाचां सिद्धान्तं शूलपाणिशुद्धान्तम्.
Aikshishi means I see. Aikshishi, I see. I saw. Aikshishi, it's past tense. I saw. Now what I saw, Pashankushadhara Hastantam. Somebody, he doesn't say Devi, he says someone who has in her hands Pasha and Ankusha. We have seen all this before. Pasha and Ankusha, Dhara holding, Hastantam inside the hand. That means she is holding these two inside her hand. Vismayarha Vrittantam. Vrittantam means account of her life account. Her life account is Vismayarha, causing wonder. Vismaya is wonder. Vismaya Arha means which is worthy of wonder. Arha means worthy, which is worthy of wonder. Her accounts are full of wonder. They cause wonder. Adi Kanchi, she is stationed in Kanchipuram. Nigama Vacham Siddhantam. Siddhantam, as we all know, is principle. She is the principle of the words Vacham of Nigama, Vedas. All Vedas aim at taking us to Parabrahman. There is no other aim. the basic principle of Vedas is taking us to Parabrahman. Who is that Parabrahman? That is Devi. Nigama Vacham Siddhantam. Shulapani Shuddhantam. Shulapani is Shiva. Oh, Shiva who is holding Trishula in his hand. Pani is arm. He is holding Shula in his arm. That Shiva Shuddhantam. Shuddhantam means Antapura, the female apartment of a Prabhu or a king, a lord. That is called Shuddhanta. Antapura, the female apartment. It's actually an apartment. Now, the term apartment he is using for Devi. That means what? There is nothing like an apartment here in Shiva's case. In Shiva's case, Shiva does not have an apartment for Devi. He is herself Devi, Devi is himself. The two are inseparable. So he says his inner apartment is Devi herself. There is no separate apartment for her. There is no separate apartment for Shiva. They are one and the same. Aikshashi, I saw Devi who holds inside her hands Pasha and Ankusha, the rope and the goad, and her account of various leelas, various sports are causing great wonder, and she is stationed in Kanchipuram, and she is the very principle of the words of Vedanta, words of Vedas, and she is the inner female apartment of Shiva who holds Trishula in his arms. Why does Shiva hold Trishula? For protecting the sadhus and for punishing the wicked. So, that Shakti of protecting the sadhus and punishing the wicked, who gives him that Shakti? That is the indirect implication of saying Sholapani. So, that Shakti he derives from the Shuddhanta, who is Devi.
आहितविलासभङ्गीम् आब्रह्मस्तम्भशिल्पकल्पनया आश्रितकाञ्चीमथुलाम् आद्यां विस्फूर्ति माध्रिये विद्याम्
Abrahma Stamba Shilpa Kalpanaya. Abrahma Kita Janani is a common expression which all of us know from Lalita Sahasranam. That means she is the mother of the entire creation, starting from the highest, that is Brahma. The lowest is Kita, the worm. So same thing is here. Abrahma Stamba Shilpa. Stamba is actually a piece of grass, a clump of grass. It can also mean a worm. It is interpreted both ways. Either way, it's okay. So from Brahma to a clump of grass, Shilpa means creation, Kalpanaya, imagination. Who is the imagination which creates the entire creation, starting from Brahma to clump of grass? That is Devi. So creation, Shilpa, Kalpanaya, the imagination. By the imagination, Ahita Vilasa Bhangim. That is what she is doing with that imagination. With that imagination, Vilasa, she is sporting with that imagination. So her creation shows her Leela, her sports. Vilasa is Leela, sports. Ahita means playing the sport. Bhangi. Bhangi has got two meanings. Bhangi means moving about in Kanchipuram, doing the sport of creation, one meaning. Second meaning is, Bhangi means making different types. Her creation is not of a single unitary type. It is various types. So, Abrahmastamba Shilpa Kalpanaya, that shows the range of creation. Range of creation is starting from Brahma to the clump of grass. So many types, Bhangi, so many types she is creating, playing sports. Ahita Vilasa, playing sports. Ashrita Kanchi, she has resorted to Kanchi. Atulam means unparalleled. Tula is something which can be compared. Atulam, In fact, we are in Tula month now, Tula month. This month is called Tula because the daytime and the night time are supposed to be equal during Tula month. Atulam, unparalleled. Adyam, the Adi Parashakti, the primeval Devi. Vidyam Vispurtim, Adriye. Vidyam, she is the primal Vidya, Adi Vidya. Adyam Vispurtim, you can take Vispurti with Adya also instead of taking with Vidya. Either way it is okay. Vispurti means vibration, throbbing. It is associated with creation. All creation starts with a throbbing, a vibration, sensation in Devi. Otherwise, Devi is static. She is not dynamic. Suddenly, one vibration comes. When the time comes, when Kala comes, then she creates Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Then she creates the entire creation. So that is Vispurti. So that can be taken as Vidyam Vispurtim, that is knowledge which comes out in the form of a throb, or Adyam Vispurtim, better as Adyam Vispurtim because it is the primeval creation. Primeval creation. Primeval creation. The first creation, Adyam Vispurtim, Vidyam, she is the very embodiment of knowledge. Adriye. Adriye means I respect. I regard that Devi who is doing sports of creation, ranging from Brahma to a clump of grass through her imagination, creating various types, and she has resorted to Kanchi. She is unparalleled. She is the primeval Devi of creation. First throbbing, first vibration of creation starts from her, and she is the very embodiment of all Vidyas. Vidyam, Adriye, I regard her.
मोकोऽपि जटिलदुर्गति शोकोऽपि स्मरति यः क्षणं भवति एको भवति स जन्तुः लोकोत्तरकीर्तिरेव कामाक्षी.
Hey Kamakshi, he is calling Kamakshi and then he is saying, he is praising Kamakshi. This is a shloka of praise. He says, Mookopi, even a dumb fellow, like the poet himself who was Mooka earlier, Muko api, even a Mooka, even a dumb man, Jatila Durgati Shokaha api, even when he is full of grief. Shoka is grief. Durgati, misery. Because of miseries, he is always aggrieved. What is the misery? Jatila, very difficult. Very, very tough. Very tough miseries are always confronting him in the samsara. So because of that, he is always overcome by grief. So because of Jatila Durgati, he is overcome by shoka, he is overcome by grief because of extremely tough miseries, miserable situations. Even that man who is overcome by this kind of grief, even that man who is dumb, yaha, one who is like this, bhavatim kshanam smarati. Bhavati means you. Bhavan, bhavati. Bhavan, when you address a male, bhavati, when you address a female. Bhavati bhiksham dehi. The new Vatu, after Upanayana, goes to his mother and says, Bhavati bhiksham dehi. Same bhavati here. Bhavati means respected you, not ordinary you. Tvam is ordinary you. Bhavati is respected you. So, bhavati, you, kshanam smarati, even for 1 second, if somebody thinks of you, who is himself overcome by all kinds of grief of the samsara, who is dumb, even if he thinks for 1 minute, 1 second, not even minute, 1 second, if he thinks of you, then what happens? Eko bhavati, he becomes ekaha. Ekaha means unique. That is without any parallel. Nobody can compare with him. He is unique. Sa jantuhu, the poet does not say that man. Sa manushyaha, he doesn't say. Sa jantuhu, any jantu, any living being becomes ekaha, unique. So unique can be very bad also, isn't it? Somebody can be uniquely bad instead of uniquely good. Instead of uniquely lucky, uniquely unlucky also. So he is now clarifying that he is not uniquely unlucky, he is uniquely lucky. Lokottara kirtireva, his kirti, his fame is lokottara. Lokottara means spread all over the world. That means very high, surpassing the world, uncommon. What you don't find normally in Loka is Lokottara. Uttara means beyond, beyond Loka. That means what you don't find commonly in Loka, commonly in the world is Lokottara. That kind of kirti he gets. So naturally his kirti has spread all over the world because in the whole world there is nobody like him. There is no such kirti. He is beyond the world's experience. So jantuhu lokottara kirtihi eva. Eva is emphasis. He becomes that. Lokottara kirtireva bhavati. He becomes that without any doubt. Hey Kamakshi. Even a dumb man, even a one who is afflicted with all kinds of grief, with all kinds of miseries which are extremely tough situations in life, even if he thinks of you, the respected you for a second, he becomes unique and his fame becomes uncommon, unworldly, Lokottara, beyond the world. Hey,
पञ्चदशवर्णरूपं कञ्चन काञ्चि विहारधौरेयं पञ्चशरीयं शम्भोः वञ्चनवैदग्ध्यमूलमवलम्बे.
Avalambe. Avalambe means I take refuge in, I take support in that Devi who is now described. Avalambe we have seen before also. Avalambanam is support. Lakshmi Nrisimha Karavalamba Stotram we say. That means we take the support of the hand of Lakshmi Nrisimha. Kara Avalamba. Avalamba is support. So I take support in Devi who is Panchadasha Varna Rupam. The highest mantra for Devi is Panchadashakshari. Varna is Akshara, letter. She is of the form of 15 letters. 15 lettered mantra. We all know she is of the form of 15 lettered mantra. Panchadasha Varna. Varna is Akshara. She is of that form. Kanchana, someone. We have seen this expression many times. Kanchi Vihara Dhaureyam. Dhaureyam means head, chief. She is the chief. She is the chief person who is sporting in Kanchi. There may be many people sporting in Kanchi. We don't care for them. We care for Devi. So he is clarifying. Kanchi Vihara Dhaureyam. Panchashariyam Shambhoho Vanchana Vaidagya Moolam. Panchashariyam. Shara, Pancha, 5 arrows. That is Manmatha. Panchashariyam of Manmatha. Now this of Manmatha, first let us understand along with Shambhoho, then we will go to the other meaning. Of Manmatha, Shambhoho Vanchana Vaidagya Moolam. Shambhoho of Shiva, Vanchana, cheating him, cheating Shambhu, cheating Shiva, Vaidagya, cleverness, the dexterity, the cleverness of cheating Shambhu. Shambhu, how can Shambhu be cheated? Can he be cheated? He cannot be cheated. So it needs extraordinary cleverness, extraordinary dexterity. That is Vaidagya. Vidagdha, Vaidagya. Moolam. Who is the force, the base supporting this dexterity? That is Devi. That is without Devi's support, without Devi's blessings, without Devi's power, can anybody cheat, go and cheat Shambhu? Shambhu who burnt Manmatha to ashes, Can anybody go and do vanchana to him? But somebody is able to do. Who is able to do? Manmatha himself has done it. Manmatha himself has been able to do. Panchashariyam Vaidagdhyam, Vaidagdhya Moolam. The Vaidagdhya is that of Panchashara, Manmatha, in Vanchana of Shambhu, in deceiving Shambhu. Moolam, who is the power of that Manmatha? That is Devi. This is one aspect. This Panchashariyam can also be attached to Panchadasha Varna Rupam, 15-lettered form. Now, 15-lettered form has been thought of by Manmatha. There is something called Manmatha Vidya, Kadi Vidya, it is called in technical language of Shri Vidya, Kadi Vidya and Hadi Vidya. Kadi Vidya is also ascribed to Manmatha, and Hadi Vidya is ascribed to Lopamudra, the wife of the consort of Agastya. These are the two basic vidyas in Panchadasha Akshara form, 15-lettered form. There are two basic theories. One is this, another is that. Now we can say he is talking about Manmatha Kadi Vidya, which is more popular, which is generally followed in Shri Vidya. So Panchashariyam Panchadasha Varna Rupam, that is the 15-lettered form created by Manmatha, or 15-lettered Manmatha's Vaidagdhya, his ability, his extraordinary ability of treating Shambhu Moolam. Somebody is the force behind that dexterity, and that is Devi.
Parinatimatim Chaturdha Padavim Sudhiyam Sametya Saushumni Panchashadharna Kalpita Padashilpam Tvam Namami Kamakshi.
Now, Parinatamatim Chaturdham Tvam Namami Kamakshi. Gurumurte Tvam Namami Kamakshi we saw earlier. Like, similar to that, hey Kamakshi, I worship you. Now, that you is described. Parinatimatim Chaturdha Padavim. 4 states. Parinatimatim we have seen before. She culminates, she becomes 4 stages. What is this 4 stages she becomes? This is very important. This is related to speech. Sudhiya, we will come back to that. Sudhiyam Saushumnim Sametya. Sudhiyam of wise people, Saushumni, the Sushumna Nadi, Sametya, having reached the Sushumna Nadi of wise people, Devi attains, because Parinatimatim he said, Devi attains 4 states after reaching Sushumna Nadi. He is not referring to chakras. She is crossing several chakras, we know. But that is not, he is not talking about. He says he becomes 4 states. What is that 4 states? That is, because Padashalpa comes later on, we have to attach it to words. What is that? 4 states. We will come back to that again. Panchashati Arna Kalpita Padashilpam. Arna means letters. Panchashati Arna, 50 letters. We know Sanskrit alphabet has got 50 letters. Sometimes it is reckoned as 51. Let us take it as 50. Or to Ksha, Akaradik Shakaranta. That is Panchashati Arna. Kalpita. Kalpita means made out of. Pada, words. Words are made out of 50 letters, isn't it? 50 letters of the alphabet help you in making words. Kalpita Pada. Shilpam. Shilpa means architecture. That is the architecture of the sentence. Vak Bheda. Pada is Vak. Simply words do not convey anything. You have to make words into sentences, isn't it? That is Shilpa. That is the architecture of the sentence. The structure of the speech. Now, so your speech consists of a certain architecture, certain structure, which consists of words which are formed out of 50 letters. Now, we have got something to do with speech. So, Chaturdha Padavi has to be taken along with speech. So, speech becomes 4 stages. That is what the Shastra says. Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, Vaikhari. These are the 4 stages from which the speech emanates. When it is in Mooladhara, see, whenever we speak, we think we are speaking from our mouth, from our tongue. No, actually, the speech comes right from our Mooladhara chakra. When it is in Mooladhara chakra, it is in a very subtle form. Nobody can know what we are going to say. We ourselves don't know till we speak. But actually, in a nascent form, in a subtle form, it is there in Para stage, that is Mooladhara chakra. Then it goes to Swadhisthana chakra, Nabhi, which is Pashyanti. Why it is called Pashyanti? Pashyanti means you can see, but we are not able to see anything, isn't it? Those who speak, we don't realize that there is something in our Nabhi which is giving rise to words in our mouth. We don't realize that. But a yogi realizes that. A yogi sees that. In fact, if you stand in front of a yogi, even before you speak, he knows what you are going to speak. How? Because here he is able to see. That is Pashyanti. When what you are going to speak has reached the Swadhisthana stage, he has seen already what you are going to say. In fact, he can stop you from speaking. That's what many yogis do. You might have seen. Many yogis, when you go in front of them and you are going to say, I want to tell you something, he says, no, I know what you want to say. This is the answer. How is it possible? It is because Pashyanti stage. Then after Pashyanti, it becomes Anahata, heart. That is Madhyama. Madhyama is an Anahata chakra, heart. That is called Madhyama. It is still in intermediate stage. It is still not reached an audible stage. It becomes audible when it comes to the mouth, when it comes to Kantha, when it comes to neck. That is Vishuddhi chakra, that is Vaikhari. Vaikhari is something which you can hear. If you can hear what I am saying, that means what I am saying is Vaikhari. It is of the Vaikhari stage. But before that, it has gone through 3 stages. Para, Pashyanti, and Madhyama. This is what Lalita Sahasram also very nicely says. Para pratyakkhiti rupa, Pashyanti paradevata, Madhyama Vaikhari rupa, Bhaktamanasa hamsika. So, pratyakkhiti rupa, she is always there in the form of consciousness inside us. That is why immediately, because she is there always in the form of consciousness, whenever you want to say something, she takes these 4 forms very quickly. Because she is pratyakshiti rupa. She is there inside your body as consciousness, and she is Bhakta Manasa Hamsika. She is a swan in the minds of bhaktas, minds of devotees. So 4 states of speech she takes up by traveling through the Sushumna Nadi of the wise people. Words are created, architecture of words is created by 50 letters of the alphabet. That Devi I worship Kamakshi.
Adikshal mama gururad Adikshanta charatmika vidyam Swadishta chapadallam Nedishtameva kamapita gatam.